Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Whoa, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com. Back at it, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Big
Neal,
D!
Ruhl, Darren, McCarty back in the fold. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. The squad is here. We are locked. We are loaded. We are ready to go. Where is everybody after the week? How do we all feel? We good?
I'm fired up.
Fired up.
Recharged.
Okay.
Recharged.
Recharged?
Exciting weekend. You know, even in the sporting world, but the wrestling pay-per-views were awesome. The wrestling I was involved in, awesome. Tommy got put over by Homicide 187, which is a legend, and he put over my cannabis. So I'm flying high here. Oh, by the way, congratulations, Miami. Butler did it again, as I see in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Join in, but other than that, Neal, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was cool, man. Got the Sunday night, my night, Memorial Day weekend.
Break that down, guys, because we
Yeah.
just went through Neal Ruhl on the calendar of the 365 days. The Sunday of Memorial Weekend is one that is extra marked in your calendar, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And explain that to the people, because maybe you guys at home have this too. It sort of makes sense. It's halfway through the calendar year, but this is a day that you really revel in.
No, it is because, like, you get all, it's like a found day, right? Like Sunday night is like a found night. Now, Spenmo, you had talked about the fact you go hard in the paint on the Monday still, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do yesterday?
I went to Riverbend's park with some of my friends and, playing in the river, jumping off trees, saved a dude's life. It was a very
really?
eventful day, yeah.
How do you not?
He got way too high up in one of the trees, and he was pretty drunk, and he fell, and he hit the water like a ton of bricks and just knocked out cold. And he was just floating in the water, and so me and two other guys jumped in and pulled him out and made sure, he coughed up some water, but he was good.
Like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, EMS took him away, but it was just like precautionary. I think like a concussion was probably the worst that
How
happened
about
to him.
Spenmo, man of the people?
It doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise
I mean, like, if anything goes down, I want Spenny there. See, from throwing fists, sticking up for his buddy, to pulling people out of the water for draft. That's the whole thing. Is if Spencer isn't, like, if you don't realize how fortunate we are to have Spenmo Rax in our lives, you should too. So that's the
Absolutely.
friend. That isn't Spenny the friend that you want, that you can count on, that just no matter what.
Again, yeah, whether it's saving your life drowning or if you got to throw some blows in the mean streets of Royal Oak, whatever.
He's got your back.
He's down
Appreciate
for whatever.
you guys.
That is
Not
that is
talking
incredible.
about it, being about it.
Yeah,
Spenny.
that is incredible. But the point of the story is, like, the whole Monday going hard, like on Memorial Day, whatever going hard is to you, whether it's beaching or cooking or drinking or whatever it is you do, that game's kind of passed me by. Memorial Day Monday has kind of just become a designer Sunday to me. But the Sunday night before Memorial Day, because nothing's going on. You can
Dude,
do what you can do what you want.
Old guy, you need Monday to recoup.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to say it
these
like
young
that.
bucks like you used to be, where Monday into Tuesday, whatever else. Oh, we got to wrap it up at midnight because I got to work at 6 in the morning. Right? Those days you got to wrap it up at like 2 in the morning on Sunday because you got to work Tuesday.
See, fair.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. You see what I'm saying?
It's okay, but.
That's what it is.
That's the group. But
Yep.
you've also been there to the Monday.
Yeah, I have. Yes, I've done that. That time has passed me by. Sam Flannel, what about you, man? What'd you have popping?
I kind of have the temperament of the older people now, so I'm kind of like, I'm not like Spenny. On Monday was kind of a chill day. Saturday night, me and the wife actually went to Jimmy John's Field. That was a lot of fun.
Nice. Utica Unicorns?
Yeah, it was. Who actually won that day? Yeah, I think it was the Utica Unicorns. I think they did win. They beat the West Side Woolly Mammoths. I really like the Woolly Mammoths theme song, so I was hoping that they would win, but that is okay. That is all right. It was a fun weekend, but more subdued. Nothing like, I didn't save anyone's life like the hero Spencer.
I'm not a hero.
Raxter.
I just play one on TV.
Before we move on, let me give a shout out to Roger Penske. The Daily Double this weekend. The Indy 500 and Joseph Newgarden in his car, and then in the Coca-Cola 600 because of rain delays yesterday and stuff like this, Ryan Blaney. So
and then rolling right into the Detroit Grand Prix this weekend, right?
Right, and that works out good, which actually I'll be down around there. Exciting. We're talking about the Grand Prix off of Belle Isle into the streets.
Into the streets.
And you know what it reminds me of, Neal? Go back. This reminds me of my dad. My dad passed away in 1999, but I remember growing up where him and my mom used to always go over, and he looked forward to going down. He had some friends. He was in the air conditioned refrigeration business, so he had some friends where I didn't go, but he was always excited, when the Indy was coming, because he'd sit down in one of the corners and just to listen
it's
to
cool,
the cars.
Man.
It's
yeah.
cool if you haven't seen it. And you know what I love? And a shout out to one of my crew and Jazz CEO, but they're always working towards closing a divide, right, in Detroit and whatever like this. And if you see through the Grand Prix and everybody in Detroit looking back, what is really cool this year, no matter what, if Hart Plaza, if you didn't know, is free, right? They're gonna have cars down there, they're gonna have people down there, and you'll be able to hear the cars and stuff like this. And I think that's an introduction to everybody in the city to make this a city event, not just about, let's, for lack of a better term, the Billionaire Boys Club and Rich and Open Wheel, but having to give back, to the city and making it a part of it. So I look forward. And as I've gotten older, everybody knows I love NASCAR and stuff like this, but that sound and smell, and for me, it reminds me of my dad. So I really look forward to this weekend.
Yeah.
No, it is cool. I like it too.
I've worked the Grand Prix. I worked the Grand Prix like 4 years in a row for when I worked at Andiamo, and like catering the chalets and everything like that. And I worked the Penske tent a couple times, and like it's wild how loud it is, how fast it is, the atmosphere there. It's a lot of fun. But those 2 weeks of set up, tear down, and the week of Grand Prix were nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. A lot of fun, though.
By the way, the Detroit Sports Commission, too, by the way, you can go to their website. If you want to volunteer and be a part of it, Detroit Sports Commission's looking for volunteers for that. So pop on the website there. I happen to read that in my email. So we pass that one out there along. Everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, appreciate you guys tapping in. As always, Detroit Dabber 313 with the big what up, doe. Yes, absolutely. Rich Diana says Sam Flannel was born elderly. So there's that one out there.
He's an old soul.
He is an old soul. Lots of talk, too, about the hockey. The Stanley Cup Finals are set. How about this? The city of Boston losing to 2 8 seeds in 2 different sports.
Ooh.
On their home floor/ice. I love it.
Both at home.
To South Florida.
The Karma Chameleon steps up, but like I said, what's the exciting part as a guy that's won and been in the championship? There's a new city that will have Stanley Cup championship, whether it's Vegas or whether it's Florida. So I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think it's great. I'm excited. I think this one goes 7.
Yeah.
I think this one goes 7. and then when we get there, I'll tell you who I like.
I'm
But it's gonna be tight.
I'm happy for it either way because obviously I like Kachuk and I like Jack Eichel a lot. So either one of those guys gets to raise the cup, I'm cool with it. Like, this is two teams that I like. It's going to be, like you said, I'll probably go 7 games. It's going to be a fun series for sure.
Yeah, the NHL though, man, like Sunday night was a window they missed.
Mm-hmm.
They would have had the whole thing to themselves because I was sitting out there Sunday night for my time of the Memorial Day weekend. There was not a sport. There was Sunday night baseball. That was it. That was legit.
Listen,
all that
there was
on.
Double or Nothing, AEW, and NXT, their pay-per-view and stuff like that. So don't act like there was nothing going on. All right, I agree with DNC, ENT. What a banger weekend it was. WWE, NXT, AEW, NBA, NHL, all the racing. Bing, bang, boom. Nailed it right there.
Yep.
So...
Rack says, I took 3 naps yesterday. Don't feel too bad, Neal. So there's that out there as well. No, but there's a lot of stuff that we are going to get into. You know, the NBA Finals are set as well. There's lots of Lions stuff, man. This Lions news cycle, when your team is good, not even good, they're not even good yet, right? Like they haven't made the playoffs, but they're already in the news cycle, D-Mac. Like this is weird.
Yeah, but they're
isn't it?
not because they're more in the national.
Yeah.
And it's not like local media trying to keep the machine flowing. Everything that's flowing is run by the national media right now, so it's a lot easier, right? And like I always say, I mean, they're telling you, Vegas is telling you, right? What we're seeing, what we're expecting, isn't a pipe dream. It's reality. So I'm here for it. I mean, now, like the stuff about Aiden Hutchinson coming out about, he's changing his diet or he's growing out his hair, taking it a little more serious. But again, that's what happens as you become a professional. I know for me, you're learning and learning what you need to do, right? And it's a commitment. So I'm excited for your guys, Sam. I'm excited for all of us because this is the next level. How do the elite get to the next level? By doing stuff like this.
Yeah. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Steven Syrett. Neal, is your son still putting the dishes in the dishwasher? No, that's a constant battle. That is a daily battle that will never, ever go away. They still just drop them off in the sink and walk away. Walk by the dishwasher, by the way.
Forever.
It is, man. It is something that's just a constant battle that, I don't know. Zachary Jones, Nuggets in 5. Neal, Joker, the finals MVP. It's his time, Sam Flannel.
Oh, yeah, I would agree that he is the overwhelming favorite to win the Finals MVP. No question about it.
Spenmo Rax has Nuggets in 4 again.
Nuggets in 4. So I just think, Miami is a good and deep team, but, like, the skill level of the depth in Denver is a lot better than Miami. Like, Miami probably has the second or third best player in this series, but Denver has 4 of the top 5.
That is true. No, that is
It'll be
absolutely
5
true.
so they can celebrate at home.
Yeah.
Denver has beat the piss out of Miami, too. I think they've won 9 of the last 10. I think they've won the last 6 in a row. It's been a long time, I think, since Miami won in Denver. The Denver thing's real, too. I love the way they put the elevation on the court when you're standing at the free throw line.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah, I like the way that they do that. No, but there is some line stuff that I do want to get into because we haven't had the discussion, right? I feel like everybody on the network's had the discussion. We have not. But I do, and I have to weigh in too with this whole DeAndre Hopkins situation because every day that goes by, that seems to get like warmer and warmer. Plus, too, we have a Miggy situation that happened that shook me. And we need to discuss this.
One guy in here absolutely loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
One guy here.
One guy here.
Because it just furthers his argument
It
about
shook me.
greatness. About greatness.
But I'm gonna use that. I think we need to talk about this when we come back. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. What
I
do you
got the
think,
picture.
Spencer?
Yeah.
This.
I think. Well,
Yeah,
the DeAndre Hopkins thing. I'm gonna put on hold for a second, everybody.
This thing is pressing.
Yes.
This is pressing. This was something that was sent to me on Twitter that we are going to get into and we're going to discuss. I got to get a little loose here because I'm shook about it. Maybe I need a trip to Big Boy for Strawberry Fest because Strawberry Fest is
that'll
back
do it.
at Big Boy. Try classic breakfast items, the strawberry hot cakes or the mouthwatering red velvet waffle. Not a breakfast person, that's cool. I'm not. It's not how I operate, but I am a strawberry bacon chicken wrap person. Can confirm that. Very, very good. Or you can get the refreshing summer splash salad if that's how you want to operate. Don't forget dessert. That's what started all this. That's the point of all this. The classic strawberry pie, deep fried vanilla Oreos, or the strawberry hot fudge cake. Or you can be like D-Mac and get all three of them. Whatever you want to do. It's Strawberry Fest, and it's back. Get to your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Off and running here after the holiday. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you, all of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. Jump in there. And oh, by the way, subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get that. If you guys can keep the train rolling, we'd appreciate it. Once they subscribe, Spencer, what should they do?
5-star review.
5-star review that bad boy as well. Appreciate everybody that is doing that for us. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Robert Colosia just got an email from the NCAA, which I got that same email. They're taking applications for the Final Four tickets for next year. Flannel, you buying tickets right now for Michigan's Final Four run? LOL.
Good God, no.
No?
Nope.
Huh, that's weird.
Why is it weird?
I might buy some tickets.
I'd be more likely to buy one if I were a State fan, that's for damn sure. Michigan
Nope.
basketball's looking rough. Hate it.
Okay. Somebody sent me something over the weekend, D-Mac, on Twitter. That once I
I know
saw
what
it.
you're talking about.
Yeah, once I saw it, I stopped in my tracks. And I gave it some deep thought. And let's do this right now. Miggy rolled up into Comerica Park with the jorts on.
No.
But with the sleeveless hoodie. Now, no. It's not that. It's not that.
It's not even close.
No,
Miggy's styling.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's more
Miggy's
like-
got style. Look at the sleeveless with it, like, and the black shoes or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that's
more like punk
That's
rock
a
vibe.
put together outfit. You know, whether some of it, like, and he's got calves, so he's going to show off his calves. I mean, I would say Chris Draper would wear these. He's got grapefruits for calves. You know, if you're not a calf guy, but I think that the cutoff and not the long sleeve sweater and
Thank
the
you.
goofy, like, he rocks it and makes it look like if a Hall of Famer or a to-be Hall of Famer was properly wearing jorts. That's what I said. There's a picture of what a guy should look like, not the other way. That's why I was confused. So, to me, no Miggy slander on this.
No.
Of course. I actually would like to see what zip-up vest. I like that. I like that vest. I'm not going to rock the jorts, but I'll rock the vest.
Flannel.
Not even close.
Your thoughts, your take.
So I was told by a very, very wise man named Neal Ruhl that if you show up wearing jorts, your championship should be taken away. So should we take away the Marlins championship or should we take away the Triple Crown? Because those are your rules, because AD's 2020 championship is all of a sudden null and void because he wore jorts. Those are your rules. I personally don't care how people dress, but I'm just playing by your rules, Neal.
Okay, well, because I thought about this, Flannel, and here's the difference. Number one, I'm with D-Mac on the fact he's got the sleeveless hoodie on and stuff like that. Like, it's not that sweater that Data Davis put on with it was egregious. That was absolutely egregious. Like, look at that. These two are not the same, Sam Flannel. These two are not built the same. And here's the deal that takes it over the top. And I thought about this. When you are an all-time great, you can overcome jorts. An all-time great, which Miguel Cabrera is, which half man, half a series, you know, he's pretty good. He ain't all-time great.
No, he's not all-time great. But
Nope.
he's a top 50 player of all
But
time.
Miggy is an all-time great.
I understand that.
He's got the juice. He can overcome it.
But they are both going to the Hall of Fames in their respective sports. I'm not saying that AD as a basketball player is as good as Miguel Cabrera, the baseball player, but
You better not be.
no.
You better not be.
I am objective. That's why.
Grandpa Joe says, I think Anthony Davis looks great. I wore the same thing last week. Thanks, Joe.
Jack Harrington also. Miggy's looking stone cold in those jorts.
He does have some Stone Cold vibes for sure. Even like the way he's walking with the hand up.
Purpose.
Yeah.
With
He's
a
he's
purpose.
walking with swag. That's MVP. That's generational great swag that he walks with.
It's true.
So yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I will not allow Data Davis's half man, half a series, alternate days Davis. I will not allow those.
I think the tube socks are really what sets off the bad part of the outfit.
I think the sweater is what's agreed, and plus too. You see how they're like cut
Look at the
off,
stance.
Yeah,
throwing it off.
Like look at the difference in the two stances. Like come on.
Ready to party, ready to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rake.
One to play.
That was a rake.
Half man, half a season.
That's it.
Half man, half a series. Whatever you want to say. That's
Half
what he's
man,
looking
half
like.
jeans.
The hair. People are talking about
makes
AD's
sense for
haircut.
Miggy too, but Miggy's going to see maybe he gets in the game.
Big E says the sweater is the deal breaker, and that's where I am with it too, because Miggy had the sleeveless hoodie on. It was cool. That sweater is not cool. So flannel, I'm sorry. When you got the juice, when you're an all-time great, when you're not half man, half a series, that's what you get.
I didn't want to go here, but by the numbers, Anthony Davis is a better playoff performer than Miguel Cabrera was. That's just factual. So I would cool it with the half man, half a series slander.
Half man, half a season, because that's about the average.
Not his whole career. He has had a couple Lakers seasons where he's missed half. I'll admit that. But if we want to talk about
Half
missing
man,
games,
half a Lakers season.
okay, fair enough for some of them. But hey, you want to talk about missed games? Talk about Miguel Cabrera from 2017 to now,
Well,
missing
yeah.
a ton of games. Played
He's
38 a
old.
season. I know he's old.
38 years old, man.
That's fair.
Dirty Dr. D, half man, half a wardrobe. So- let me see. Stephen Baffy says Miggy looked like an extra from Sons of Anarchy. Day Off Davis, that's a new one. Day Off Davis looked like Carlton from The Fresh Prince
Hey,
of Bel-Air.
absolutely, 100% cameos. Who's
Yeah.
making a
So-
cameo where?
Carmelo was in Sons of Anarchy. It was dope.
Was he?
Yeah, I used to watch the show. I watched it all the time. Like we'd call it church, where me and my boys would go to one of their houses and we'd watch Sons every week. And I was freaking out. He pops this little cameo. He just hands a gun to somebody. But I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. You know, when people want to get involved, when they send you tweets and stuff like that, when I come across them and it's legit, we'll make it a
How
talking
to
point.
and how not to.
Yeah, we'll make it a talking point. Are you guys in agreement with me? When you are that great, you can overcome jorts, but you got to be a generational great.
Right. And you still have to have a matching ensemble.
Yeah.
You have to, that makes us look and go, okay, why does this work for you? And I agree with you, like with the sleeveless vest and the shoes matching, it works.
Remember like Sergey with the white skates, right? Because white skates would be a
and
no-go.
only certain greatness can do it.
Yeah,
right?
that's my
Only
point. That's what I was
certain
driving
greatness
at.
can do it. You know, jorts guys are proud of their calves, I guess.
D-Mac, you will never wear white skates on the ice, would
I'm
you?
not allowed. No, I asked. They got laughed at. You got to go a certain speed. That's what I was told. I can't break that barrier because then they just don't look cool unless you're like going Mach 2.
Yeah.
Like Drape should have had white skates.
Brandon Katz says Cabrera's hitting 169. Detroit is going to have to send him to the minors if that continues. It doesn't matter what his contract is. Katz, except it does matter.
That will never
send to the minors.
Not a chance.
Yeah, Miggy's fine, dude. So
This is last year. He's not getting sent down to the minors, bro.
I know that's foolish. This discussion, though, I just want to bring that up, though. This discussion, I do want to get people's take on this and see where our audience is at, see where the room is here with it. Are you buying this DeAndre Hopkins thing at all to any degree as far as this narrative? Because
Well, what are you hearing What are you hearing Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell say?
Well, nothing ever.
Absolutely. So no. Period. Until if it is or it isn't. I mean, it's easy, guys. It's easy. Absolutely not. Whatever the pros and the cons are, we're going to go back to using the same logic of why we didn't draft the defensive lineman. Name one who we didn't draft that everybody thought we should. He's not on their radar, not on their plan. And plus, I think I remembered DeAndre Hopkins and looking at the quarterbacks that he wanted to play with, and he named about 8 of them, and Jared Goff wasn't on there. So it's not even a question to the marriage, right? But first off, it's not whether DeAndre Hopkins wants to be here. In the case like we talked about before with the Jalen Ramsey or whatever, I think that we're all set now. We have the pieces in place. We put everything, and again, my tune will only change if Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell come out and say, hey, no, we want this guy. Okay. But you hear crickets out of there, that means I don't think there's anything going on.
Yeah, and look, for me, you know how I'm going to attack this. What's the number?
Right.
Because it's gotta make dollars to it to make sense to me. And again, I don't know, because he's going to have to go to a discount. If he wants to go to the Chiefs or wherever, he's going to have to take a discount. He's going to have to, because they don't have the cash to be able to pull it off, to be paying them. Because what did Odell get? Like $16 million a year?
With incentives, yeah.
Like, I'm not interested. Like, I'm not interested in double-digit millions.
I don't think Brad Holmes is either.
Especially at 30.
I don't think any of this, like, when you break it down to what's important, I think that Brad Holmes has proven when it comes to the books, when it comes to the money and stuff like that, is he's not being frivolous, is he? I mean, they sort of tipped their hand of how they're going to operate with Hawkinson, didn't they?
To some degree, yeah.
To some degree. So I look at Brad Holmes. I mean, listen, Steve Eisman does not give $1 away. Let's get that twisted, right? But I look at Brad Holmes more of the Steve Eisman camp than not.
Yeah. Steven Syrett says, well, we already have TK85. So there's that out there as well. So Flannel, people forget. He's there chilling.
Oh, I mean, he'll be chilling on the practice squad, especially when Jamison Williams comes back.
Until it's third down on the road.
He made a few good plays.
And you need a big play.
He made a couple.
Then old TK, you blow the dust off old TK85. He runs out there, gets you your first down, you move the chains, and away you go.
Man, I wish I could get so much of a folk hero status for making 8 catches. Must be nice.
I mean, he's no Cleat Thomas, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely, he's not. No, it's just, for me, with the D-Hop stuff, I just don't even see a path.
So let me clarify, because I see DNC, ENT, commenter, which not crickets. They've done their homework. Yeah, crickets means for us. Crickets means for us, the fan base. If you're hearing crickets or it's not the subject matter that they're focusing on, yes, you have to understand that, yes, they've done their due diligence, operating. These questions have gone through 3 months ago if you're the proper organization we think they are. So the fact that crickets is they're not getting our hopes or anything. If something is to be done and it's the direction they want to go, they're going to come out and sign him and then tell you why they signed him, instead of all this, oh, he should go here, he should go there. Is that not what you understand when I say crickets? That's what I mean.
Right.
And crickets out of your organization means you don't need to worry about the work that's being done at night behind the scenes in the third shift. That's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and the coaching staff is doing. Whether it's evaluating players on their roster, players they want to add to their roster, coaches, everything like that. It's a constant conversation. These guys live it. It's just whether the crickets come out, whether they're going to address it with us or not. So we don't hear anything of it.
Yeah, and again, it just comes back to it for me. I think, too, with the Lions and their cap situation, like, they have money to spend. If they were going to do this, it would probably be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they have the first right to go in there with the cap space.
Right? If you don't hear the person's name out of my mouth, I'm not going to speak ill will, but I don't talk about them. I don't rest the positive energy, right? I'd rather put somebody's name in there that works towards an organization, if I'm building a team, or people in general, right? If you don't hear me, and I'm talking personally, Darren McCarty, if you don't hear me talk about somebody or mention their name, then I have no use for them.
Michael Lide, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Let TK85 cook.
Oof.
That's right, Sam Flannel. Tell them about Swiss Insurance, man.
Of course, Swiss Insurance. Like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today, mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com, or you could just go to their website, which is swissins.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Locked and loaded, right off and running, coming off the holiday weekend, the long holiday weekend. All of you in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Michael also says D-Hop is washed. I am skeptical. We start to get north of 30. I'm just not interested in the number. Like the number that it's going to command. I'm just not. I'm not interested, man. I know a lot of people are and stuff like that. Woodward heavyweights 5 to 7 every day here on Woodward Sports Network.
Yeah.
What's been the D-Hop vibe there?
I think a lot of people would like him, but they're not thinking it's realistically going to happen. I look at teams that are in contention for him being Kansas City, Baltimore.
Usual suspects.
Usual suspects. The guys, he said he wants a great defense, a quarterback who loves to play football, and stable upper management and coaching.
It was interesting to see those comments when he talked about that, about how management was important to him and things like that. Mm-hmm. Because everywhere he's been, it has been a bit of a circus. But you know what, though, D-Mac? Like, at some point, don't you contribute to that circus?
No, but if that's sort of true, then what you're talking about, a rebate, right? You got to be going to somebody for a rebate, and it looks like that's what's going to have to happen anyways to go to one of these championship teams that move it in. Maybe he's, sort of got a change of heart. Isn't the one question, though, about the locker room, right? Isn't that, I'm not worried about his talent, but I'm worried about everywhere he goes is sort of disruptive around where he's at. You have some veteran guys in that locker room and the wide receiver room and Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds. Ross St. Brown has earned the respect as an everyday wide receiver. So I guess it's if Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell determine that the talent, while Jameson Williams is out, let's talk about what a better replacement, right? At the beginning of the year or something like that. And if they think that it can work, if the management does matter in this conversation, then maybe these conversations are going on now. My question to you, Neal, isn't June 1st like the date that we got to wait till anyways? So yeah. That's coming up quick. That's Thursday. So maybe that's when we hear all the verbal diarrhea when it can be done, whether whether we sign him or we don't sign him, the reason, the conversation, I'm sure we'll hear why we did or why we didn't.
Right, and because it is the quote-unquote NFL New Year, technically, on June 1st. So you'll see a lot of the financial moves made because when you cut people, it allows you to spread dead cap. You can spread dead cap into the following season. So that's the reason that teams will wait. That was why I thought the Aaron Rodgers thing wasn't going to get done until June 1st, but obviously it did. Because the Packers employed their strategy. They said, look, we're just going to eat it all this year, then wash our hands of it and be done, which, I don't hate that strategy. I like that strategy too. But, we'll see what the fallout is. And I think that the Lions, maybe one of the reasons you haven't heard anything is because they're doing it too. Like, you're going to have this, when all these guys get cut, June 1, you'll have to see how things fall out. Because there's always two names where everybody sees it and they're like, what? He got cut?
Right.
Like that, it happens every year. Every year it's like that. The same way where we talk about when we look at the Lions depth chart and the players they have. And I always kind of chuckle, D-Mac, because everyone just assumes that's going to be the group that plays the whole year, which
Yeah,
it's
never
the
does.
case.
Injuries.
Yeah, injuries happen, man. That's the way that it works. There's always a couple of names you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy got cut. So I think, here's what I think, D-Mac, and this just kind of popped in my head as I was bringing up that point. And this is why I love Brad Holmes. And this is what has missed from the Detroit Lions organization from all their years of buffoonery, is he will let value dictate what he does. If there's a number that makes a lot of sense, he'll jump in. And if there's not a number that makes sense, he ain't interested. Like it seems so simple to say, doesn't it? But when you look at his track record and what he's done, guys he's gotten, you talked about Steve Yzerman doesn't give anything away. Well, Brad Holmes doesn't look to be giving anything away either, man. And I love that.
No, and there's an argument at different times where you have to pay, right? There's question marks at different times, right? You question Brad Holmes and why he extended Jared Goff until you understood, I get it now. So sometimes it doesn't play out. I think Steven Surratt brought it up in the chat thread. That's how we got big booty bugs, right? As Terry likes to call them. You need the big booties up front. But that's a value, right?
That's how we got Snacks Harrison a couple years ago.
Snacks.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So you want your GM to understand value to your roster, and I guess you make it more clear that's what he does. So it'll be interesting. Let's see what else is out there, because maybe instead of Hopkins at what number, 15. Can just out of argument's sake, right? Yeah. 15. What if somebody else, like you said, falls down that they really like receiver and you can get him for 8?
You know which way I'm going.
Brad Holmes' way, right? Because as somebody trying to remember, I don't know, but he said no turds. Dan Campbell, no turds in the locker room, right? And it's subjective or not whether DeAndre Hopkins is a turd or not, because you're just bringing up faxes everywhere it goes. Right? What's the old adage, Neal? At the end of the day, no matter where you go, you bring yourself with you. And then sometimes you got to look in the mirror.
For good or bad.
But I also believe that, people can change in different situations, and you can be put in a situation where if you want to, it can help.
Brandon says Buffalo's all in this year. They'll sign Hopkins if he wants to go there. Buffalo's sitting there with $1.6 million in cap space right now. That's it. So they would have to... They'd have to move some furniture around in order to do that. So, it is interesting, though. It is nice, though. And look, again, I know when you boil this all down, they haven't made the playoffs yet. But the Lions are that designer team, D-Mac. They're in when, Adam Schefter or somebody tweets. They talk about the Lions now, man. This is a wild time to be alive, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. It's the perfect time, right? And some of the young Lions fandom don't understand what they're getting into as some of the older ones, but we're all in the same boat. And I think we're all in the same boat, is that we can all agree is that we trust the guy at the helm now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Shad216 says most people would say Holmes took a risk keeping Goff. So what exactly are you talking about? Well, it broke down to what I discussed before, and what I've said from minute one is with what he's produced, he makes less money than what he produces. And I think at the root of it all, that was why Brad Holmes did what he did with Goff. Because obviously he was familiar with him, number one, but number two, he said, hey, if he puts it together, there's a chance to be a good value.
Look at the way of the quarterback contract before he did that. Like, that's being ahead of the game too, and getting the value to be able to, instead of being pushed yourself in a corner where you got to pay $40 million to a Derek Carr or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I always like to say, D-Mac, we're in a world right now where Kyler Murray makes $48 million. That's the world we're in right now, and Goff's at 32. So you tell me. That's the whole bunch of players. If you wanted, that's your rookie whole class. It's your whole rookie contract.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's real. Like it's real.
Those
and
are
that's
facts.
how he operates.
And the fact,
man.
so you bring up, Neal, and this was what made me thinking, is the fact that you look around to the teams that are supposed to be ahead of schedule of where the Lions are and how much money they have left in their bank account. Like you said, 1.6 for Buffalo. Well, Brad Holmes knows that too. So it's all about value. I don't think it matters the name. It matters what the value is and how it can help this club.
Yeah, absolutely. Next segment, I do want to ask the question for the people, because I know we've touched on this in the past, but as OTAs now have kind of come and gone, and we're 7 weeks away from training camp?
Hell yeah.
Like, you believe that, man?
It's pretty wild.
Okay.
7 weeks away from training camp, bro.
It's pretty wild.
Let's go. Inside the 2 months.
Hell yeah.
Inside. It'll be here before.
Oh, real quick.
Before you know it.
The Memorial Day weekend thing, like obviously, the weather was awesome and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It was awesome. Can we mix in just like rain at night for a little bit, please? Please.
What's up with this guy?
Yeah, what do you want it to rain?
Like what?
At night.
At
night.
Just as long, between 3 and 6 a.m.?
Correct. Boom,
just a 3-hour spritzer?
Yeah, because it's free. It's free water. When it comes out of the sprinkler, you pay for it. When it comes from the sky, it's free.
It's all about that. Oh, okay.
Am I wrong?
But usually when they leak open the sky, it doesn't shut down in Michigan for that day. So no, let's keep it the way it was. How about during the week?
Sure. What? Just give me some rain. Some.
There's always something to complain about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about the. We're about the bag around here.
Was it when the sun was, when the moonlight sky was hitting the bourbon glass and the reflection off? Ooh, there's a dead spot over there.
Yeah, there was.
It didn't make you enjoy that last.
No, it did. I was past that point at that time.
Okay.
There was no stopping that train.
All right, we'll work on it.
Planet Fitness. You guys know what it is. $1 down, $10 a month. Access to your home venue, your close Planet Fitness there. Also the Black Card an option as well. $24.99 a month. Get you access to over 2,400 Planet Fitni around the world. Unlimited guest privileges. You can bring a guest every single day of your life if you want to at Planet Fitness. Use of all the amenities, the tanning, the hydro massage, all of it is there for you. An army of cardio equipment, an army of weights. You're never waiting around for stuff. Guys, let's get smart about what we're doing with our gym that we work out at. Planet Fitness has everything you need. Trust me. It's all right there for you. $24.99 a month. You basically own Planet Fitness. You're welcome. So that's all handled for you. Pretty simple. Go to planetfitness.com. You can join there. Pull in the parking lot. You'll pass a couple on the way home. And don't forget, the Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass for teenagers ages 14 to 19 can work out all summer long for free from now until August 31st. Go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you, all the good folks in the woodwardsports.com chat. Also, Steven Syra, it's not supposed to rain for a while. I know, right? I know. That's
Good.
what I'm saying.
Good.
He's mad. Gotta run the sprinklers.
Well,
What's that, Tuesdays? Even days? What side of the... Do you... Up there on the mountain, is there even side of the streets?
They haven't enacted that yet, but I got a feeling it's probably coming very soon.
Oh.
Yeah, that is how it works. Odd days, odd number addresses, stuff like that.
I didn't know
That's
if
weird.
your castle had a castle across the street from it, up on that hill.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely. Jonesy says we had all 4 seasons in one weekend in Hillsdale, Michigan. It was 39 degrees Friday morning to burnt to a crisp by Sunday. So it was beautiful this weekend. Beautiful.
Neal just wants it to rain so his moat can fill in around his castle.
I know. I don't want the people getting too close.
Already pre-ordered the alligators.
And the dragons.
Yeah.
I'm having dragons brought in.
There you go.
Tony D, no rain is bad for fruits and vegetables. I agree. We need rain. You need rain to live. Everything needs rain, Spencer.
Rain makes corn.
And corn makes whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey makes my baby get a little frisky.
so, yeah, that I like it. I like that. And look, not during the day. 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, but anyway, I did want to talk about this with the Lions too. We talked about Hopkins and stuff like that. I think we're all pretty much in our shoes with the DeAndre Hopkins thing. If the number works, I'm cool with it. If they don't get involved at all, I'm cool with that too. However they want to roll out with that. So, again, we brought up June 1st, and maybe this is something we can revisit towards the end of the week. But as it sits right now, this Lions defense, D-Mac, a big area of need. They addressed, obviously, in the secondary. They did it largely through free agency, largely with short-term contracts. But boom, you talk about next year, that's been addressed. You don't anticipate it to be the problem that it was last year. What's the ceiling? Realistically, before we get too much hopium in our... That's why I wanted to have this discussion now and not, after 4th of July, where we're all hopped up on, everything and really getting juiced up.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, before Spenmo gets in the lewds and everything
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about.
You know what I'm saying. But, D-Mac, what's a realistic expectation for this defense? For real.
Not allowing 300 yards rushing and a half.
That's good enough for me.
Game. What is it? It's the eyeball test to begin with that they are getting better, but what you said and what they added was the biggest deficiency to me, the secondary. Because what is the most frustrating thing? If I'm going to choose a few things, to me, not the running quarterback, not getting ran on. It was the third and giving teams 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, not being able to stop them. So I think that's been addressed. Now, we think that in all different areas, whether it's guys stepping up that have been here, that showed a little bit last year, or guys that you're looking to be healthy for the year, guy coming back like Tracy Walker, you look at Pascal, they're leaning on him to be one of the big guys up front. I think that what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said is that don't sleep on the guys that we have here, right? They're looking to step up. The big question to me is the linebacking crew, right? As the linebackers, we signed an Anzalone, obviously giving the keys probably pretty much to Jack Campbell, and it's just seeing what it is, seeing how they're going to use Malcolm. What is that linebacker crew? To me, that's the question mark. I'm not worried about the ends, the front. We'll figure that out, pushing on both sides, but what do we have there in the middle? They're going to be better. On paper, they're better. Just by improving your secondary and adding a C.J. Gardner-Johnson who's got that dog in him, and Mosley's got that dog in him too, who's also got to prove himself after injury. You got Cam Sutton coming in here where he knows that he was the sought-after sort of free agent, that they're going to build this thing on the back end around. Then, I mentioned, didn't even mention Kirby Joseph, who's our ball hawk. So this has to be better. Whether it's, to me, it's shutting drives down. To me, it's, I'm
just get off the field. Get off the field.
I know that I'm going to let this run go here and there because every team does it, right? Every team allows a big play at certain moments, but when they need the big play to get off the field, you said it. When they need to get that offense back on the field. I look for more continuity, right, with the offense and defense in time of possession and not having the defense tired as hell like we've seen them in the past because they just keep getting run out there.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Steven Siret says forcing to Seattle to punt would be nice. And, Steve, I agree. And as D-Mac said, not giving up 300 yards rushing in a half of a must-win game, that would be nice too. And that is a pretty easy baseline to start at. But, D-Mac, here's what it is for me. And, look, we can get caught up in schematics and personnel and efficiency numbers and all that kind of stuff. This is still a bottom-line league. And it comes down to this, D-Mac. Get off the field on third down. That's it. That's the only metric I care about. That's the only thing I'm keeping an eye on. I don't care how they do it, the method they do. I don't care. Get off the field on third down because it's a third down league.
Absolutely. Here's a question I have for all of you, right? So right now, as we're breaking it down, because we don't know what we got, we only speculate. But what we do know is if you look at this Detroit Lions team on paper, defense on paper, and you look at what they had at this point last year on paper, we can all agree it's improved, correct?
Yes.
How much improved on paper do we say? For example, out of 10, if I looked at this with last year and result or whatever, what do they get, a 3 out of 10? On paper going into the season. You didn't expect them to be world killers. You maybe expected them to be a 5 if they were good, just because of the talent they have, right? So 3 to 5. Right now, you automatically expect a 5, 6, or 7. With the ability of Hutchinson and Houston and Kirby Joseph and Gardner and Cam, all these guys with the ability to be game wreckers, to be guys that can get this team off the field on third down, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the excitement. Because I think right now they're 3 or 4 notches better just on paper. From the experience of the guys last year, from the guys coming back from everything else. So let me be excited. Now you got to go out and play, but that's where the excitement comes from. So you're right, Neal. Get off the field on third downs. Give your offense a chance.
Flannel, and I'll go to Spenmo for comment on this as well. As you kind of peruse depth charts, and I use ESPN the most because it's compacted enough to where you can view it on a full screen. It's more aesthetically pleasing. What do you make of the fact that a lot of places have Romeo Okwara on the depth chart at left defensive end? First team.
Well, Romeo Okwara, when he was healthy, he once had a 10-sack season. I don't know if he's ever going to get to that level, but when he played, he was impactful, albeit in short spurts and not very many games. I would still rather see James Houston get the majority of the snaps and pair him with Aiden Hutchinson, but we also kind of know that maybe James Houston isn't an every down defensive end. Maybe he's more of a pass rush specialist. And by the numbers, last season, he was as good of a pass rush specialist, it's a mouthful, as there can be in the NFL. Literally more sacks than games played. So I don't necessarily hate it as of right now, although seeing Romeo Okwara as a first team, it's not necessarily ideal. It's hard to stomach, but when you really break it down, I don't mind it.
Spenmo, am I pulling the soccer thing where everybody loses their mind about formations? A formation that changes 5 minutes into the match? Am I pulling a soccer thing there? Am I making too much of this?
I think so, just a little bit. But
okay.
I agree with what Flannel said.
Piss off. How about that?
I think it's because, Romeo is obviously, he's a bigger guy. He's been in the league for a while now. He plays the run better.
He contributes, and that was going to be my point. He contributes to the run.
Yeah, when he is healthy, when he's playing, he's a very solid defensive end. So Houston's going to get his snaps. I don't think it's anything to be worried about.
Yeah, because Houston is a long reliever.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a setup guy. more. If you want to do the cross comparison, that's what Houston is.
All I want Houston for is 30 plays, and of those 30 plays, he's Nick Bosa. 20 of them, he's disrupting. Like they don't have room for him. You know, when he's in there, everybody's going, "Oh crap!" Like imagine if you're the left or the right, you know, the right tackle or whatever, and he's lining up, and you know what's coming, and you can't defend it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, right, that every defensive coordinator, they're figuring out a way to do it. So it's up to James Houston and the Lions to give him another one. What haven't we seen yet? And here's the one thing, Neal, and you know this from covering, right? He may not get a sack in a game to whatever, but there might be 4 sacks that he's caused. How many would you see that last year? When the continuity even more so ramps up between Houston and Hutchinson and those lines, they're gonna. It's like what we see with the great teams, and I think they have the ability to become what San Francisco does. You know, with the couple guys bringing in, you know, their linebackers and doing stuff like this, because I think the talent is there. At the end of the day, you're going to need help and schemes to get that talent over, even guys like Aaron Donald does.
Because the 3 years Okwara played where he was healthy, the first 3 years he was here, as you talked, he had a 10-sack season in there. Had 19 sacks in 3 seasons. Pretty good run of form there from Romeo.
So is last year health?
Well, he's only played 9 games the last 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
so what I'm saying is you can understand the why.
100%
of why he'd be on there, because, and also too, if he is healthy, can he get back to that form? And I'd be interested to look back at the defenses and who he played with when he was successful, and how was that played? What makes him successful?
The more I think about that, though, what if he does stay healthy? What if he returns to, like, D-Mac?
Gives you another...
Yeah.
That's what you need. What do great teams... This is the... See, good teams, and if you call it luck or whatever it is, they make their own luck by having this. You know why it's Brad Holmes? Here's the thing. If it happens, Neal, then you know even greater to that level of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and the organization not quitting on a guy, right? There's certain guys that you can quit on, and you wonder why they don't quit on other guys. Well, here's the reason. Why do they believe in that? So hopefully it's because what you see in... Where did you get him on the first team? Right, where you're looking at, it's the same sort of analogy as that they're saying. If he's healthy and he comes back to form, imagine what he could be, because he's your starter.
Because I'd forgotten about him.
Well, it's sort of like the Tracy Walker thing. Yeah. Like, I'm excited about that, a healthy Tracy Walker, because if you don't remember, he got out in the 3rd week, but he was balling. First 2 weeks, it looked like he was having a big season.
Yeah, no, Tracy Walker's another one, but Romeo Okwara, he had 2 sacks in the game at the Jets this season. In a game where they gave up 17 points and only scored 20. In a game that was very much a swing win for the Lions. Right. So for me, that's a big-time game. That's a big-time contribution. And they may not have won that game without Romeo Okwara's harassing Zach Wilson to that degree. So that's... He can play. He showed it in short spurts, and he showed it for a whole season. Not worried about him being first on the depth chart as of now.
And Charles Harris is back, too. Like he's shown a little bit, obviously not as much, but when he's healthy, now him being the 3rd or 4th option as a defensive end, he can provide a little punch, too.
Man. It was a big road win they got in New York. There were tons of key plays in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Kennedy, 3rd down receptions, moving the chains.
Khalif Raymond.
Those were big plays.
Fair enough.
They absolutely were.
Brock Wright.
Big plays.
Oh, yeah, the biggest.
Big. TK85.
Hey, he made a play.
We gotta get him on.
Tom Kennedy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll talk to Maz. I'm going to tell Maz.
Get him on the show?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go. All right, let's do it.
We'll mute Sam's microphone and everything. We'll send Sam in the back or something like that. What could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon Edwards, Darren McCarty, Jim Harbaugh play golf? How about playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity? That's what. Stop into any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf at one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak after. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Make the wise decision. Get to any Randy Wise Automotive Group dealership today for your chance to win. It's a Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Make sure you subscribe to the Big D Energy Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get those podcasts. Spenmo, what if they're wondering, hey, I subscribe to the podcast, what should I do next?
5-star.
That's right, 5-star it. You guys are doing a great job for that. We appreciate you leaving the reviews, leaving the ratings, and all of that. And subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel if you have not already. Jump in the chats, get involved. We take your comments throughout the show. Sometimes I even lean on you guys to program the show. So, hey, I love it. Love everybody's contributions, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, because even from these guys in this room, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly sometimes as well. Harold Williams, TK85, practice squad killer, and third down on the road killer, too.
Got it done. One of the biggest catches of the year last year. I mean, for what it's worth.
God, that just eats at Sam Flannel. It bothers you, doesn't it?
I like because you know what he hates? He hates guys that step up for the moment. He just likes guys that just mundanely are there over time.
Or have jorts and a sweater on.
Well, I mean, come on. We know that's a fact. That's his soft spot.
Yeah.
I like Lions victories. That is all I will say. Would I have preferred someone other than Tom Kennedy to make those contributions? Sure, but I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't cheering. I was cheering while also realizing I'm going to get it tomorrow from Neal. That was my exact thought process. Hey, you know what I mean.
It's just funny to me. I'm just looking for some consistency. Tom Kennedy plays what? How many games did he play last year?
I don't know, like single digits, I believe.
And you're critical of that. When half man, half a season does it, though, it's all good then.
Oh, yeah,
it's all
has
good.
all-star seasons, great postseason runs versus 8 catches. I know, same thing, right?
Tom Kennedy played in 7 games last year.
There you go.
Fair enough. And the rest of the time, he
15 targets, 8 receptions, 141 yards.
Ooh, that's some big plays.
About 17 yards, 17 and a half yards per reception.
Yeah, there's a reason why you have to have enough catches to qualify. 17.5 on 18, or 8 on 8 catches is not all that impressive. But he did make some plays. Never denied that.
Had a long of 44.
Absolutely. That was against the Bears, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was big time. I'll give him that. Big time.
Rack says, how Flannel feels when Neal talks about TK85 is the same way we all feel whenever Flannel talks in general.
That's not very nice, Rack.
It's mean, Rick.
You're very nice in person. I don't get why the hostility.
Very sexual, Rick, but very mean.
Lastly on this, Emerald Eye says, Kennedy
is going to have 0 catches this season. You
Wrong.
watch.
I'd take that bet.
Okay.
Coffee?
Yes.
You in?
Yeah, I'm in.
You in, D-Mac?
What?
He'll buy the crew coffee if Tom Kennedy has a catch this year.
In the regular season?
Yes.
Oh, I'm down.
Large iced.
I'm down, Sam.
No
By
sugar,
the way,
extra
Grandpa
cream.
Joe's inviting you to the chocolate factory. Will you please go? Will you please go?
All right, I lied. This wasn't the last one on this. Chromium says TK85, the best number 6 wide receiver in the league. Debate.
True. I guess that's a flex. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Another
that
number
had
6
big
wide
catches
receiver.
and road wins on third down.
Who would? Let me see the Bengals.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Don Rivera said he would take that bet too. Well, we don't want to.
He only needs one catch. That's an easy bet.
Hey, Spetty, this one needs to be highlighted. Okay?
All right.
South Warren Hillbilly.
Oh,
I don't know if we've seen you. Welcome. Please come back because you're spot on. Sam Flannel reminds me of Sheldon Cooper when he starts spewing stats, and everybody knows Sheldon Cooper, right?
He does have a little,
Yeah, no, from Big Bang
Neal,
Theory.
you know who Sheldon Cooper is?
I do not.
Big Bang Theory.
What's the show?
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Neal doesn't
The
watch
know-it-all?
TV shows.
No.
Brainiac. Sort of
Okay.
looks like him too a little bit.
Really? DNC ENT has a tip for Sam Flannel. 0 catches, just buy the coffee today, Sam. Save on inflation.
No, I'm gonna ride this one out. I might end up looking silly, but I don't
Sam,
believe
say
in Tom Brady.
Bazinga once.
Bazinga.
I think they're brothers. They're cousins at least. It makes a lot of sense. Anyways, thanks, Sam.
Real Cream of Wheat said Neal doesn't have time to watch TV shows. He's making dollars. I mean,
That's it. There
that
it
is true.
It's the bag, man. Consistency, though.
Oh, I did. You'll
I
like.
watch it because it leads into AEW and Dynamite on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Real quick, D-Mac did want to shout him out because I didn't get a chance to in the Open. Another big win for Detroit City FC, and just like that, they're right back in the mix.
On a roll.
They are.
Hey, and seriously, obviously, goaltending a big part. But I remember you sitting here telling me, playing San Antonio at home, what San Antonio had done, and to them to start it out, beating a big MLS powerhouse or something like that at your home building, sort of had sparked it. So, what is it that you see? What's different? Continuity, time.
Defensively.
Wait. They're scoring goals.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a start. Like, they got goals.
It goes to show you, apparently, like, and if anybody hasn't followed Detroit City football, it was really tough to put the ball in the goal for the first 2 months.
Right.
But now it seems like they've
They're
figured
getting
it
just
out.
enough, and they're making it hold up defensively. And they closed down the club in these 2 games too. It wasn't like it was a fire drill at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like there were no quality chances. Like they just
So it
choked
reminds
it
you of
out.
what the Florida Panthers do at the end of a game.
It's exactly
Right?
like
No
that.
chances. And
No
that's
chances.
so frustrating. So, it's eager to see. We'll have to get Michael, Brian, or whoever.
Yeah,
in.
we'll get him back
We're
on.
going to do DCFC Wednesdays, get it back going. But, great for that young crew. Great for Trevor James. Obviously, it goes back to the culture down there. But if anybody hasn't been down to Keyworth, now's the time to go, especially when they're winning.
Yeah,
that place is humming.
There were over 6,000 at the game on Saturday on a holiday weekend, so it was popping down there.
Awesome.
And they're back in the mix, man. Detroit Dabber 3-3. Amu Mensah and Maxi Rodriguez have been great. They have, as a man. Amu Mensah has been
It's our
incredible
boy,
coming off the
Maxi Rodriguez
It's my
is the
guy,
man.
dude.
Yeah, coming off and Amu Mensah coming off the torn ACL last year. It's big time. But yeah, that's how that is working out. We'll get some of the Detroit City guys back in here and get it popping, and we'll work on getting TK85 on the show. That'll be a big moment.
Absolutely.
The good news is I control the microphone, so you can't mute me unless you force me to leave the room. So there's that. I love the power that I have on this. Come on, I think I have to go at him a little bit. Maybe, though, if I see him in person, he's a very, very nice guy. He can sway me to the other side. I've always hated Detroit sports fans who make folk heroes out of mid players, and Tom Kennedy is less than mid.
That's big catches, man. Game-winning catches.
All right,
on the road, third down. It's a third down league, Flannel.
I told you the one at Chicago most certainly was
Stay
big
on
time.
or get off the field.
Yeah,
it's fair. That was a big time play. Big time play. I never denied that.
I hope he gets a catch first game of the season.
Me too.
Well, then I'll be buying you guys coffee.
I know.
And I will pay up because I pay my debts. The heavyweights know that all too well.
Yeah, that is true.
I think he should buy us coffee every time Tom Kennedy
makes a catch.
Yeah.
Well,
he ends the season with 13 catches. I mean, that's 13 days of coffee. That'll teach him to.
What do you think
close
about
his
that,
mouth.
Flannel?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take that bet.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
and then real quick.
That's when you're afraid. It's easy to throw one out there, but how confident are you? So we just see how I just paper mache'd the Sandbot right there.
Well, I think Epic paper mache'd him too. I hate mid producers who think everyone else is mid.
Well, some may say that I'm
He's
mid,
a
but that's
producer?
okay. Well, that's more spending.
Audio
production.
Yeah.
Producing things. Producing those takes out of that booth. It's amazing JB can just walk in there after that without disinfecting it from... Does JB ever have a bad take? Probably not, eh?
He thinks the Lions are going to the Super Bowl this year, but it's more hopium than it is anything else.
I might. So see, Sam, I try to stick up for you. It might be the booth. It might be the booth that does
We're
it
all
to
hoping
you.
for that because we want the Spencer Raxter Jared Goff tattoo to become reality.
They'd have to win. They'd have to win, but yeah.
The 16 over
my
where
God.
the eye is.
No, it's behind the ears.
When I lay my head down, when I lay my head down at night, and thank God for another day. It's also to make my dreams come true. Let's get Spenny that inner thigh tattoo. I do it as a
just
rhyme.
on the thigh.
Dreams come true. Inner thigh tattoo. Spend more.
And he's gonna get the 16 like a teardrop.
No,
I thought
right
he
there
was
on
gonna
the
be
eye.
behind his ear.
No, it's a
Behind the
teardrop.
ear.
Oh, was it?
No,
Yeah.
but we got him into what's that bigger font? You got him to raise the
that's
font.
right. Yeah.
You couldn't get it to his teardrop.
You can get it smaller if you put it on
If
your eye
Jared
where a
Goff-
teardrop.
There you go. Option.
It was if
Teardrop
Jared Goff won a Super Bowl in Detroit. I'd
Yeah.
get 16 behind the ear and grit across the stomach.
In the Tupac script.
In the Tupac script.
Oh, I can't wait to be there to video that.
Oh my God, that is such. Oh God, I can't wait. I can't wait for that moment. This one too, real quick. Sam Flannel is a bozo. That one's out there as well. Speaking of bozos, I heard a bozo take over the weekend. We're going to discuss it when we come back. But let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast called This is the S Word helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. Because let's be real, there is one out there. If you're struggling or somebody you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. I'll have another Lions thing to get into. We do have a segment coming up on the Tigers as well. And the Pistons haven't named a coach yet. I just want to go around the room and get our thoughts on that because I think that there is something... I think there's some contingencies going on right now with that. We'll discuss that coming up in just a little bit. Also, a critical Red Wings question for DMAC. We'll see if we can squeeze all of that in. We've been talking about bozos because we've been talking about Sam Flannel to some degree here today. But ESPN, the ESPN reporter version of Sam Flannel. I'm kidding, Flannel. I'm kidding. ESPN reporter said that the Lions had one of the worst off seasons in the NFL. And this was Bill Barnwell that put it out there. That said the Lions, again, among the 5 worst off seasons in the NFL. What was the context on this, Spenmo?
I'm assuming it was the draft and losing DJ Chark are the only things that I can think of.
DMAC, I can't even make a case for that. Like in this world, look, I can look at a sports take, right, and make a case for it. I might not agree with it, but I can make a case for it. I just don't understand how you can even make a case for that.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I don't. Is this just like because the same old Lions, and it's easy to throw them on there? You know, stuff like this because we just talked about how they've improved where they needed to improve on the defense. We didn't even address the offense or whatever. And I think maybe because it's not the popular plan or it didn't go by the norm, right, through the draft and everything else and what was expected or pontificated about, right? So, I mean, I don't know. How often who's the guy that did it?
Bill Barnwell, or as Honolulu Blue Sparty says in the chat, Bozo
How
Barnwell.
often does he cover the Lions? You know what I mean? To me, that's just I got to throw somebody in there, and they drafted a running back and a linebacker in the first round. You never do that. That's so bad. They suck. No, dude, this is what's needed and stuff like this. So I think, remember how we opened up about the temperature of the nation putting the spotlight, not just us, the local media, on our team, right? This is the remnants of digging back into the trash of what's been for 30 years and thinking you're going to get away with it, instead of us going, well, no. You can't just use that.
Yeah, like based on what?
To me, that's what it is you can always throw the Lions in there, and it just was bad reporting. I don't know, do you go to Bill, what is his name? Bill
Barnwell?
Bill, do you go to Bill Barnwell for your NFL information?
I mean, I'm aware of him.
You're aware of who he is, but he doesn't, to me, he doesn't, does he give a reason why? Does he give at least his reason why? Because at least, because maybe he's on the Cats payroll. I mean, it's just that's where it's. Maybe he's another one of these cat spots.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I just had this one queued up, and Catspot 9000 says they drafted a part-time running back instead. Now, if you want to go that route, like I'll respect
right,
that. If you have that belief, I'll respect it.
So like if he came out and said they are there because you don't draft a part-time running back, can't stay healthy, and you took a linebacker and
a 4.6 40 linebacker.
Like if he's adamant that they should have gone the other way, okay, I believe it. I just don't take any merit to it because this is what my team was building. Does that make sense? Like, who's ahead of them? Right? Who did he rank ahead? Because I see we're fifth. Yeah. Like, who's the worst? Can we agree with any of the others? Spenny, can you throw that back up for a minute?
Yeah.
Can we agree with Tennessee, right? We agree that Tennessee had a poor draft or didn't do anything. Okay, so I can agree with that. The Rams sort of pigeonholed
poor but necessary. It's
right.
over.
That's sort of because they put themselves in that position.
Yeah.
They won their Super Bowl. This is now the
teardown begins.
Right.
Yeah.
Las Vegas. Well, you know what? You're either a fan of what Vegas does or whatever, but what Vegas did was what Vegas usually does, right? Like, if I go to you, was Vegas on point with their offseason moves or their draft or whatever?
Yeah, I mean the Garoppolo thing,
losing Derek Carr, Darren Waller,
but it's on point with they're always doing something.
They're always doing
so
Vegas stuff.
I get it there, and if you wanted disagree, that my question would be, did he explain why? And if he's going, but how can you argue with the off-season free agency, right? I'd say, hey, Bill, they need to improve their secondary. Is that a number one priority?
Yeah.
Yes. Did they? Immensely? I think they did. Maybe he doesn't. I guess to your point, bringing it full circle, Neal, is when you're looking to defend or whatever somebody's argument, you need to have their case in front of you. And just to throw Detroit up there like that being rated doesn't really give it the pause. But he's more into the cat spot camp of, why'd you draft a part-time running? You know what I'm saying? That's what they believe. Okay, until it's proven wrong.
Let's go. Red Wing Sparty says, "Cat spot. What time is it? Don't care." Is a response on that.
Here, can I do? Here, I'll do it. Ask the cat spot. Do it again.
Cat spot 9000. What time is it?
Don't care. I love it.
We gotta make don't care t-shirts.
Mike says the Catspot 3000 is the same computer that figured out the probability of Charlie getting a golden ticket. Yeah, it wouldn't have been possible, I think, under that, guys. And it is. Look, this is going to be the pushback, right? Where media folks out there are going to go back to that old line of thinking and stuff like that. I just don't understand. Like, what were the two huge weaknesses for the Lions last year? Defensive secondary, which they addressed with experienced dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and experience and young dudes
experienced dudes.
Overpaying For an older guy that's already done it or whatever, you got a Cam Sutton that's going to be, that they look at being your dog on that one side, shut down whatever it is for how long? For hopefully the rest of his career.
And it's one of those things, too, where this is why I value what they did. And I would listen to people say, if you want to go the draft route and say they got a situational running back and they got a 4.6 40 linebacker in today's day and age. Okay, like I can, on the surface, I was upset too on draft day. However, through all of that, what have they done with the secondary pieces they added? And this is big, and no one talks about this still. I do my best with this, D-Mac, but no one ever brings this up. What did they do? They stayed financially flexible. They are prepared for any situation that comes up them financially. They are prepared for any type of long-term injury scenario. They're prepared for any type of surprise cut where you can go sign, you have the ability to sign someone, trade for someone. It doesn't matter. They are as financially flexible as anybody in the league, and they continue to just acquire talent through the draft and acquire talent through the draft. That's cheap, controllable talent. You can't argue that.
And I think as a fan, we don't look at the money like we have to now because it's sort of the money driven. But for you, like that's like sort of enabling and having in your back pocket all the ammunition that you need. Correct?
Correct.
So it's just another level of thinking. And to the point, Bill, ESPN, what's his last?
Barnwell.
Probably didn't think past your initial reaction. We're here in Detroit. This is our team, so we will layer it down. I don't think he layered it down. I think it's like a hurt running back and a 4.6 or a 4, as I see, 4.5, 4.0 linebacker just doesn't equate. So we'll see. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everybody can have their opinion about it. Everybody's going to stink. You got to go out and prove it. Like I said, I'll revert back to look at on paper. On paper, this team going into camp with what the moves that they've made, how much better are they on paper than they were last year? They're better. It's just how much. That's up to you to decide.
Well, and we'll find out.
And we'll find out
when they kick it out.
We'll see.
And just to bring it all together, because I think this kind of comes in, and I know we'll revisit this one as well. And Spenny put the question on the sheet. And it's very basic and it's very to the point. It says, what do the Lions need to do to get rid of the SOL tag? And D-Mac, I think it is
win, no matter what.
Win a playoff game.
Win.
Like for real, are we there? Is that where? Because for all this talk that we're doing and all this stuff, and I see how fired up everybody gets because of the Barnwell story, saying that the Lions had a bad offseason. Well, you can't have one without the other, right? So if you think they had a good offseason, then you expect them to win a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the next step. I mean, obviously the next step is to get to the playoffs, but it's to win. And you have the ability, like we've talked about in this weaker division, to win this Northern Division, which gives you a home playoff game, which even gives you supposed to give you a better chance to win a playoff game. I think we're there. Are you there? I'm there. I mean,
without
the bare
playoff
minimum
win, man.
to the conversation of not a failure is obviously playoffs.
Right.
Because we haven't got there yet. And how can I say you haven't been a playoff? So I can even go that. But with what we're building, I'm expecting to take 2 steps. And that's win that game. Not just play in it, win it.
I know. Alex Haggerty says they are getting rid of the SOL. The Lions have overwhelming positivity from the national media. And he said there's always going to be bad takes. And yes, there is. But it does become a bottom line business. Like through all the hoopla, through all the hopium, and this is just day one of it, through all the Stoke not scared and all that kind of stuff. We mentioned the fact we're, seven-ish weeks away from training camp. Once the ball gets kicked off, it's time to win a playoff game, man. Like it just is. This is the other side of that. All the hopium and everything that we're talking about, this becomes the other side where you have to go win a playoff game. Because if they don't, D-Mac, and it's very baseline. I've said this all year. I'll continue to say it all year. We'll say it in June, July, September. The style, the cosmetics of it do not matter. The Jared Goff season, all that kind of stuff, it's all lumped together, pass, fail.
Stats are irrelevant this year. It's all team success.
Pass, fail.
Right, and at the end of the day, when you're seeing how they were successful, you look at the stats of the other guys, and they will be high, or if they're not, it's because they didn't reach the level that you thought. But reaching a different level that you think, like the hair game, guys, walk into any Lady Jenkins for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but two. Yes, 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, girlfriend, or best bud. And remember, Spenny, he don't need one anymore. Get a new friend. Anyways,
Thanks.
Lady J's open 7 days a week, walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports. Now we're coming down the stretch already here on a Tuesday. Short week here for Big D Energy, all of you as well. This just popped in my head because there are a couple of different things I do want to touch on. Like I do want to touch on the Piston stuff. I do want to touch on the Tiger stuff. But as I peruse the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, where if you subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, jump in there, get your thoughts out there. What is this fascination with DeAndre Hopkins?
Well, it's because despite what one of the chat people said earlier very incorrectly, DeAndre Hopkins can still play. He had 717 receiving yards in 9 games last season, which over a full season would equal 1,354, which sounds to me like a prime DeAndre Hopkins season. And the Lions, I'm not saying they should do this, they do have the cap space to do it. And if DeAndre Hopkins actually comes to the Lions and balls out, imagine what that offense could look like with Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jameson Williams. It could create a situation where the Jameson Williams suspension could be a blessing in disguise almost. I think that's why. He's still got it. He is not washed.
Okay,
this came up thinking about this. Is this a situation like it was back in 2001 with Brad Hall? Acquiring Brad Hall, maybe, with the talent that he had, and then the question mark would be, well, what about in the locker room or stuff like this? On a shorter term deal, you bring in the talent, where Brad Hall absolutely didn't affect the locker room. It actually benefited with the locker room surrounded by all the Hall of Famers, and we were able to go out and win a cup with him. Is that sort of, because that's sort of the things that you hear about, like, it's not the talent or the age or anything that is the question with DeAndre Hopkins. It's the fact that how does he work in the locker room, right? To what Dan and Brad and everybody has built in there. So if you're going to do an analogy, I think is it the due diligence to will it work, sort of like the Brad Hall. Right? Now, why did Brad Hall work initially, or the conversation? Does Hopkins have a Chris Chelios in the locker room? Where is there somebody on this roster that is boys with Hopkins, that knows him, that to a different level, that it could be different, that he wants to come and be a part of this for a 1-year deal, maybe give it up and then go out and get a couple more years or re-sign. I don't know, but these are the things that you have to question. Does that make sense as to maybe draw a comparison to that?
It does. And remind me, I have a question for you about the Brett Hall thing. And the way that you introed him, Flannel, when you talked about him. Yes, you can say it that way. Or I could say it this way, too, and say, there's a guy that's north of 30, that's played 19 games in 2 years.
That's also fair.
That's one suspension away from a season-long suspension.
I mean, that's why you have to take everything into consideration when you bring up DeAndre Hopkins. My thing, the reason for hyping him up is I understand the intrigue, and I know, Spenny, you said it during the break that it wouldn't be something that I would be opposed to at the right price with DeAndre Hopkins, because I believe he still has a couple of good years left in him, and I do believe that a good version of DeAndre Hopkins, which is pretty much all we've seen throughout his career, can help this Lions offense and can give them a hell of a wide receiver too, at least when Jamison Williams is out.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's going to come down to money. Now, if the Lions want him, they theoretically have the most money, or one of the teams with the most money. If they want him, they can go get him.
They can do it.
They can go do it. It's just I wonder about that.
That's
I do. I just, as I said, as long as the number's palatable, if they're in on them, cool, and if they're not in on them, I'm fine with that. Real quick, D-Mac, though, just going back to that, what was your initial take on the Brett Hull thing? Because I do remember that. I
loved it. I love it. Yeah, and you got to understand, we also won, and so you had a very veteran sort of room, even though, and so we knew the way you couldn't bring somebody in here that wasn't going to get engulfed into our culture. There's nobody that could have came in.
Your locker room was undefeated, right?
Right, exactly. You were just going to fall into and figure out which part of the locker room you were going to meld into, right? My favorite thing is to sit at the back of the bus with Holly and Chelly and have him do Ken Hitchcock impersonations and tell stories about different things. Like the stories. He's such a great storyteller. And it just the engulf to the culture. Mike G brought it up. Remember the line, 2 kids and a goat.
Yeah.
Right? Brett Hull was the GOAT. Who are the 2 kids? Pavel Datsyuk. And the wicked one, Boyd Devereaux. That's it. So the fact that it showed you, right? Brett Hull, Hall of Famer, no matter what, regardless, I know that he scored his 600 with us and stuff like this, but the fact that he didn't need that cup to be a Hall of Famer and came in, nurtured professionally a guy like Pavel Datsyuk on the line, and Boyd Devereaux, right? And embraced his role. Scored one of the biggest goals. He scored the goal that I can't say if he didn't score, we wouldn't have won, but to tie it up, to go to triple overtime where Igor scored with the deflection. So I was excited. I was super excited. He was another golfer too, so I knew we'd get on some great golf courses.
Yeah, the level of course changes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, what do you call it? I was already, tempted, or I was thinking of all the great stuff that Brett Hull would bring in, and never worried. We weren't even worried about, we could nurture it. And at times when Hully would be Hully and get to that, guys would be there, and he'd look around and it'd be all right.
And the reason I ask, because I do think that there are some cross comparisons, because when you are in a locker room like that locker room, it is self-policing. It runs itself. It's turnkey. The locker room was turnkey.
You got to understand is that locker room was 10 years in the making. To that, even more so of that, but within 6, 8, 10 years of putting all the final pieces together, but it's character and culture and the stuff where you can't come in and not be a part of it.
I just got an update from Bleacher Report that Bob Myers is stepping down as the Warriors president and general manager. Multiple-time executive of the year.
I get that vibe from them that it's about run its course.
Yeah.
I get that feeling, man. You never notice it. It just one day you wake up and it's over.
No.
And I think that's going to be but you can't argue. Can't argue what they did.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You murder the draft the way they murdered the draft. Come on now. Steph, Clay, Draymond Green, that's a championship spine. They all got it in-house. All of it. So, yeah, you do get that feeling. But, yeah, I bring that up, D-Mac, because I ask you this. You haven't been in there, so you don't know. But you've been around training camp, and you met Dan Campbell and stuff like that.
Building.
Do you get that vibe, that locker room?
They're 94.5 wings right now. They're not there yet. They're going through.
Because I get that vibe.
The vibe. It's getting there. It's getting there. But again, as somebody said, they're not the They're not the Red Wing locker room in the heyday or the Bad Boys Pistons locker room when you get, but they're
because you can only get that by doing it.
Yes, so
and
they're
doing it all.
But they have all the ingredients and everything there to go on the journey. Like they're already there as far as the culture to go on the journey. Now it's about getting reps, and about getting reps. Got to remember, guys, it's also failing,
losing
as a team. But how are you gonna pick everybody up together? So the fact that they're moving forward, Neal, slowly but surely, all together, that's the difference. That's the same old Lions. Why it's not same old Lions. Everybody's in that building is moving towards. So no matter who they add in any aspect, right? I don't care if it's if it's say Rory, say it's a new Rory or something like that. You have to be part of what everything else, and it's moving as a team. So yes, you feel that, and then that's building. And here's the other thing, Neal, because when you sign guys and you have guys coming in that want to be here and talk about it, they're looking and going, man, I want to be part of that. Jump in. Their mindset is to fill a role. So it's not going here going, oh, what am I going to do? No, and that's where it's different too. Because now if we're plugging guys in to play roles, that means coming out of the locker room where it matters, that foundation is solid. And I think it is. To answer your question, absolutely. Is that foundation solid and Allen Park, what they're doing? I believe it is. Absolutely. More so than it has ever been in my lifetime.
And because, like, I look at guys like Sewell, guys like Aiden Hutchinson, those fabric type dudes that are on there, where it's about, for them, at their business, man. They just want to win football games, dude. That's it. And they don't care who's in the way. And that's why I'll always go back to this, and I will. With this, I do believe that it's undervalued, one, that we don't recognize it enough, two, which I guess runs akin to being undervalued. I think Penei Sewell and I think, you tell me, D-Mac. Like, does that?
I think everything you say of Penei Sewell to whatever else is everything I see. And you're right, trajectory-wise.
Because he comes in there, and yes, they had a 3-win season, but I will always go back and point to that, where he went at the Nick Bosa's, and just
what do you take out of that 3-win season,
man?
Right? Like, what do you take out of that 3-win season? And your imperativeness is, man, Penei Sewell is a man, and he's the one that, like, if there's talk in the locker room with not letting this stuff happen, there's guys that they'll talk about and go out with actions, but he's one that shows you and is going to be the leader.
Yeah.
When we talk about him, right? It's that offensive line, and if you're going to say who are the 3 members of that offensive line that you build around, and it's Ragnow in the middle, it's Decker on the left, and it's Penei on the right. And it's those 3 that make this team go. That's their grind line. To me, that's the grind line. That's the attitude. That's at the end of the day. And to your point, even more so, like, that's the Frank Ragnow effect to passing down to Penei Sewell. Who do I think is, right, where you're saying, like, Penei Sewell is this and all that? Yes, I agree. But Frank Ragnow is the man. Penei is his right-hand man.
His protege.
As right, whereas the older one is Decker. Decker and Penei are there, but it's Frank.
I get you.
To me, that's what it is. The demeanor, the leadership, all that. It'll eventually be Penei's, because everything you say about Gold Jacket is true. It's absolutely.
Okay, I want to know how parallel it was running, because I do get those vibes.
It's the same thing as
in 3 years that locker room will run itself.
Lidstrom and Konstantinov, into 95, 96, 97, where you know that there's something special. And at the end of the day, when he's done and the stats go, oh yeah, Hall of Famer. I seen it. Yeah, duh. Right? One of those, of course. Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Only Sam Flannel would legend kill Penei Sewell or Nick Lidstrom. So that's it.
It's true.
Never have. Never happened.
That is where I do draw the line.
Yeah, there's no way. It's impossible to legend kill Nick Lidstrom.
Just like when I draw the line on an energy drink whenever I'm at LCA or DCFC because they're the hottest team in town. What am I drinking?
You know Cintron, the official energy drink of the Red Wings, the official energy drink of Darren McCarty. When he's down at Little Caesars Arena, when he's at Keyword Stadium, he's usually Team Crumbury. I'm just telling you that. You know what? Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. A special offer for Woodward sports fans. You get the 6-pack variety pack in the Red Wings themed packaging, $15. Free shipping. Boom. Right to your door. It is there for you, and you get to try them all. The great tasting Crumbury that Darren McCarty smashes. The classic or the sugar-free. So you know what? Why wait? Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Get the Red Wings theme package sent to your house, $15. Free shipping. It is all there for you. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. It's Cintron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it. Live it. I love it. Cintron.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you, coming down towards the end. Thanks, everybody, for jumping into the WoodwardSports.com chat thread on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Real quick, obviously, NBA, we know the finals are set. The Denver Nuggets, the Miami Heat. Spencer Raxter says Nuggets in 4. It's Jokic's time to officially stamp his legacy as the greatest center in basketball over the course of the last...
When's game 1 of that series? Is it tonight?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
I do worry about that for Denver.
Yeah, they've been
They
waiting
played like
for a
2
while.
weeks ago. Because Anthony Davis, series to series, was such a bum. His side got swept out. And,
It's like what happened to when the Tigers swept the Yankees and had to wait for the World Series.
Yeah, I am getting those kind of vibes from it. If they can survive game 1, they've dominated the Miami Heat.
Mhm.
And they have the best center, I say one of the best centers to ever play the game of basketball. And his coronation will come this year. Hopefully that is the case.
That would be really cool to see.
And when, and I see this all through the chat thread with the time off. You know what I'm saying, with the different time off. And if you look at the NBA and the NHL, 10 days for Denver and Florida will have that time off. It's great to heal injuries, but if a team that was cooking, if you're gonna bet against a team, it would be game 1. If the Heat are gonna win a game in Denver, it would be game 1. And I've seen it happen. It's happened. It's happened to us.
Real quick, Bill Barnwell's on ESPN right now. He says they prioritize low-value positions outside of the secondary. So, yeah, he's saying it's a bad offseason because of the draft. He's going with that whole low-value position. I mean, again, you could say it that way, or I could say they got the best players available in their positions of need.
Yeah, it's like the defensive line, the offensive line was already set. So, what are you trying to...
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, though, the reason I bring up the NBA stuff is the Pistons have not named their head coach as of yet. And again, I say this is no inside knowledge. I haven't talked to anybody or anything like that. The feel, D-Mac, the vibe that I get is I don't think Monty Williams is out of the picture yet.
Oh, really?
I'm starting to get that vibe.
Is that because you would have expected something to be done with somebody else, or you thinking coming around?
I think that, and look, I don't care. To put this in maybe Spenmo's vernacular, I think the Pistons might be Monty Williams' kind of side chick a little bit. Number 2 choice, perhaps. And he's kind of
waiting. Who do we have to get through? Who is he waiting on?
Milwaukee, I'm betting. Or they're, because Philadelphia went with Nick Nurse already. Obviously, he's not going to Phoenix. He just got fired from there. Kind of Milwaukee's one of that dominoes
so you
that have
expect
to
him
fall.
to jump back into the fire? Is that what we're,
I think the Pistons are just kind of holding out, just kind of laying low and waiting to see how it shakes out. I do believe that, honestly. I don't believe Monty Williams is out of the fold. What do you think, Spenmo?
Because they don't believe that they've got commitment issues, and you're gonna slide in there.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Spenmo?
I don't hate it. I hope that's a reason. I hope that's why they haven't been named. They haven't named a head coach yet. Kevin Ali made a post on Instagram where he was kind of saying thank you and departing from the overtime elite. So
yeah,
that didn't look good, as maybe he got the job or what's going on there. But I've seen reports that the Pistons are hoping Monty Williams will reconsider their offer.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. I'd love for that to happen for sure.
Me too, man. Especially with what he does, guard play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, he when Chris
Bring
Paul
him in here
plays,
with two dynamic guards, like.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I would. That's how. And Brandon Katz says the Pistons have no leverage this year in their coaching search. Yeah.
They got money. And.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
all-star talent at guards.
Yeah, Brandon, you're not wrong.
The Pistons' job is what it is. Like, don't pretend it's not transparent to the rest of anybody who coaches. What you have and what you want to get into, it's the same thing. It's you use the side chick analogy. You know what you're going to get. Do you want to have that time? Do you want to be able to step back instead of being in front of the fire in the heat of the battle at the front of the league? Do you want to come, build something? Are you in that mentality? So, I mean, the Pistons, if somebody wants that gig and wants to start over and create whatever else, right? I look at the Pistons as back in the day when Pat Riley went to Miami, right? Like,
right.
You have something that you're trying to build, that sort of culture. So, it's not out of the question to get a guy like Monty Williams, but he's got to, the first question is he's got to want to go on that adventure and want to do that 5-year program or 3-year program or whatever else. Not that what his mojo and his bread and butter is get right into the game. Let's go from here. Let's go to here. Front runner. I want to be at the top. I want to be conference champion. It's not what you get here in Detroit. And it's very transparent to everybody else.
Because what jobs are left? What? Phoenix, Toronto, right? Detroit, Phoenix, Toronto. Those are the jobs that are left, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, I think they're kind of just waiting for the music to stop and see who's in a chair. Honest to God, I don't think it's dead, Spenny. I don't.
I hope so.
I think it is down to the two, though. I think we are at the Kevin Ali, Monty Williams intersection. Those are only the two roads that you can go down.
So you're saying once Monty, for lack of a better term, accepts the rose from somebody else, then Kevin Ali will get, the Carnation second place to Detroit?
It could be.
Like, just right like that, and that will... So to me, the fact that if Monty Williams goes somewhere and then we sign a coach immediately after that, tells me you're right.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're waiting on. They're just waiting on one more domino to fall. And then it's funny because, like, people are like, well, why aren't Pistons haven't named a coach? What's going on? Like, what's the problem? What's the difference?
You're not in an imperative position.
Yeah.
What does it matter if you wait? Still got this team. Still got the 5th pick. It's your GM that's more of important right now than having a coach. You need a coach by camp or by OT, right? Like, legitimately, when you're coming from the bottom.
Yeah, they don't have to move. Like, there's no, there is none of that as far as there's this big impetus to do anything.
Now, it would be imperative if, you had the first overall pick, and I'm sure that Monty Williams would be here already, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That would have been announced a long time ago. But, all you got to do, and Chuck Brewer agrees with you, they just need a head coach by the time camp starts. And they're letting everything play out, man.
I think they need a head coach by the time the draft. Like, before the draft.
Why is that?
I want him to have some say in what's going on. Obviously, it's going to be Troy Weaver's decision ultimately, but you'd like to have a coach know who they're drafting.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it for sure. And I think we're waiting on the Monty Williams domino to fall. Which way does it happen? Does he take the Toronto job? How does it all play itself out? So, is Wizards' job open still? I haven't heard anything.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Man, Bradley Beal, Monty Williams would do well there, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he would, man.
He definitely would, but...
Almost as well as you would do if you went to Cousins Maine Lobster.
Oh, everybody would be doing great if they went to Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. You can check out their 2 food trucks rolling around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and search locations to find the Detroit schedule, or download the app, order ahead, and earn points. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real expert professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed, but I need you to call Guardian today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people, yes, real flesh and blood, Homo sapien people that give a crap about anything that you care about. Your safety and security deserves technology that have been proven to work and people have been proven to care. My point being, even Sam Flannel, yes, Sam Flannel has flannel protection. For how many straight days has Guardian Alarm been protecting the flannel, sir?
286.
Woo! Commitment. 286 straight days of commitment, and Guardian Alarm has been there all along the way. Guys, listen, whether it's personal, whether it's business, whether it is Sam Flannel, Guardian Alarm, they don't care. They're just going to keep things safe. You need Guardian Alarm, but I need you to call the number, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Instead of the finals, Jaylen Brown, you and your 16% three-point shooting in that series.
Jeez. Stay out of any head coaching position other than the Pistons, Monty Williams.
Stay out of the win column, Chicago White Sox. Ha, 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 ha.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Catspot 9000, Boston's implosion shows how important Udoka was for that team. They did struggle. There is no doubt. I got a question for you guys. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, the resident NBA guys. So right here, right now, if you're the Celtics, because this is the choice, are you giving those two $600 million combined? Because that's what it's going to cost, because that's what their max eligibility is. Right here, right now, fork in the road. Tatum and Brown, $600 million?
I'd probably sign and trade Brown. I'd pay Tatum, though.
Man, you know, I will say this. As somebody who has often called Jason Tatum a little bit overrated and not a superstar, just a star, they're both still relatively young, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
They're in their 20s.
They're in their 20s. They've made a finals before. It wouldn't shock me if they turned the corner within the next couple of years and got over the hump. So, yes, I would give... What other choice do they have?
That's going to be my... Because I think immediately people are going to say, no way I would do that. It's that or what? Like, what's the alternative?
Be mid or tank?
That you tank or you roll these guys back out there.
Absolutely.
You keep getting to the conference finals, you continue to have a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, they made the finals last year. They were up 2-1, and they had a fourth quarter lead. So they were very close.
So, what do you think, D-Mac? Giving them $600 million?
I'd have to revert to you if that's the temperature, and I know it sounds a lot, and obviously coming off a defeat, but I got to think that with the $600 million investment to those two guys as your dynamic duo, you're getting to the conference finals every year.
Yeah, as pretty much a floor.
Here's the thing where I look and I go, it's the East. Who do I got to beat? Giannis? Or I go up against Giannis or whatever like that. The investment.
Well, don't forget about the MVP, Joel Embiid. Remember him? He was around months ago.
I forgot Philly.
Yeah.
MVP. So with the temperature, the way the league is, and if they're handing out those super maxes, I mean, to be there, it wouldn't surprise me. Tough pill to swallow, but I mean, it's where you're at, right? It's where you've put the game. Now, is that good enough for you to get? Am I out of line to say that pretty much will put you in the finals every year? It's a lot of commitment, but that's where you got to look at it because of the waters you swim in.
5-year deals. I would, because they're proven. They're proven commodities.
So my question is, how does that affect Detroit? Are we in that same situation in a bunch of years with our guys? With the Cades, with the Ivies, with the
hopefully.
So
Jalen Duren, yep.
So,
by the way, too, I was talking with my Pistons buddy last night during the Heat game. He asked me, he goes, "Can Jalen Duren be Bam Adebayo?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, he could be
better.
A more." I don't know, like defensively what Adebayo does, but I think what Duren can give you offensively can exceed what Adebayo does.
I think he can be similar to Adebayo defensively. Like Bam's a great defender and he can do a lot of different positions, but Duren has shown the ability to guard on the perimeter at a high level.
Yeah.
So,
but to your point, that's the role you need Duren to play to be a successful.
In the real world, like I'm just giving some context, and I'm glad you brought that up, D-Mac, because that's what it has to be if you're going to win.
All you got to do is look at your team in whatever sport, and then compare it to the teams that are getting to the end. You look at in hockey, look at what Florida's done to get there. Look at what Vegas has done to get there. What do they have? They both have Barkov and Eichel.
Mm-hmm.
There's your 1Cs, right? There's
and how'd they get Eichel?
Right, the trade, how they get Kachuk, where Kachuk is, we're one of your top two guys. It's usually the two up front, right?
Yeah.
You need the two. So you got Eichel and Stone. In Vegas, you got Barkov and Kachuk. And then you look at the defense. You got Peter Angelo, who's the captain in St. Louis. That one is on the back playing the point for Vegas. And then you got Ekblad, you got Montour, you got dudes. This is going to be a great series.
No, it will be. It just, I wanted to throw that out there though about the Celtics because, I think people initially like your emotional reactions. $600 million, no way, or what else?
Yeah.
What else? Or you're rebuilding.
Sign and trade Jaylen Brown for John Morant. Maybe Memphis wants to rip the Band-Aid off.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Come on, Spenny. I know. I was going to give you a second to double clutch on that and bring it back. That's not happening, bro.
Tatum and Marcus Smart for John Morant.
Jack Harrington says Panthers in 6 and Nuggets in 5.
Brown and Marcus Smart.
I think Vegas is going to win too. I think Vegas will win.
See, and I believe that this series comes down to goaltending. And I think that the Bob's running it, and if I got to put more faith in a goaltender, I'm putting it in Bobrovsky, even though Austin Hill has 2 shutouts in the last round. So the consistency, Vegas isn't going to find an inconsistent goaltender in Jake Ottinger and Bobrovsky. I just believe, reading the tea leaves, that it's Florida's time.
Hope you're right. My team B. Tim K, we were told Neal Ruhl is not allowed to root for the Tigers because of their on-base percentage. No, that would be the reason that you don't believe that they can win long term.
Torkelson's up over, he's close to 320 now, I think.
Oh, and by the way, just a small, if you're, what's Bill's name again? Bill what?
Barnwell.
Bill Barnwell. Doppelganger to Champ Kind. from Anchorman. If you want to know what he looks like, that's what he looks like.
That is true. They got the same hair.
Yeah.
They definitely have the same hair.
Same head of hair.
That guy's a great
that's
actor.
it. Champ Kind is dishing your line.
Champ Guy. That's about all the damage we can do here for today. We'll have that Tigers discussion tomorrow when we come back. We'll get into that. We will. Go get them, Tigers. For D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping into Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.